This film was made possible by a grant from the Colgate-Palmolive Company, worldwide leaders in dental research and oral care products.
There's something very special about a smile. Smiles help make us unique as individuals. And when you think of the positive effect they have upon our lives, a natural, healthy smile is one of the most valuable assets we can have, and certainly one we want to keep.
Just push the red button, Grandpa.
Give me a big smile, Eddie. It's bigger.
When you look at a smile like that, who would ever guess you were looking at a scene of battle? One that has gone on ever since the time of primitive man. The battleground is in the human mouth. On one side, the teeth made up of millions and millions of microscopic mineral crystals. On the other, acid-forming bacteria trying to break down the crystals to cause tooth decay. For thousands of years, the bacteria were winning this war. And a smile, more often than not, revealed teeth that were decayed, discolored, or missing altogether. In fact, this painful, often disfiguring disease is the most prevalent of all human illnesses. Then about 50 years ago, scientists began to understand the effect on tooth decay of a colorless, odorless, tasteless mineral called fluoride. This magnificent mineral has already prevented billions of cavities. Yet perhaps because the benefits of fluoride came gradually at first, most of us don't realize how much it has contributed to the health and well-being of hundreds of millions of people. To appreciate the importance of fluoride, we first have to look at the tooth itself.
The tooth's outer surface, called the enamel, is the hardest substance in the human body. But this appearance of strength and stability is an illusion. Seen under a scanning electron microscope, magnified more than 1,000 times, this enamel cross-section is revealed as a porous substance composed of millions of tiny mineral crystals.
The crystals are susceptible to tooth decay, which starts when we eat carbohydrates, particularly sugars. That's because the bacteria, living in a sticky film on the teeth called plaque, use these sugars for food, producing acids as a byproduct. The acids attack the tooth, dissolving some of the mineral crystals just beneath the surface in a gradual process known as demineralization, another name for early tooth decay. The reverse of this tooth decay process is called remineralization, in which minerals from the saliva rebuild the enamel the acid has dissolved. Demineralization and remineralization are going on all the time, like the action of waves on a shoreline, building up on the one hand, wearing down on the other. Sometimes, the enamel just below the surface is dissolved faster than it is built up. The result is decay, at first invisible to the eye. But if the decay is allowed to progress, the surface collapses to form a visible, full-fledged cavity. Fluoride plays a key role in the remineralization of our teeth.
We've known for a long time that fluoride helped to prevent decay, both by making the enamel more acid resistant and by inhibiting the production of acid by bacteria. Recently, our research has shown that fluoride does even more. By enhancing the rebuilding of demineralized enamel, fluoride actually helps reverse the decay process. Ultimately, fluoride makes the enamel stronger and more acid resistant than it was originally.
It all began in the 40s and 50s when it was discovered that people who lived in certain communities had far less decay than most other people. Long-term studies proved that the presence of fluoride in their water supplies was responsible for the reduction in tooth decay. What does all this mean to Eddie and his family? It means that the children may never have a cavity, and it means all of them may have healthier teeth as long as they live, thanks to the widespread use of fluoride. All water contains some fluoride, but most water doesn't have enough naturally occurring fluoride to help stop decay. Scientists have found that raising the level of fluoride slightly to about 1 part of fluoride per million parts of water is extremely effective in the prevention of tooth decay. Today, Eddie is lucky enough to live in a community with a fluoridated water system.
We've lived here for 10 years, since before Eddie was born. And I'm sure the water's had a great effect on his teeth. Isn't that right, Eddie?
See, Grandpa?
My teeth certainly weren't like Eddie's at his age.
Every time Eddie takes a drink of water, a tiny amount of fluoride from the water is absorbed into the body and is circulated to his developing teeth. We call this way of delivering fluoride systemic fluoride. Since birth, Eddie, like many children, has been drinking fluoridated water. His teeth were absorbing fluoride for many years before they erupted, making his tooth enamel more resistant to acid attack. Studies show a 50 to 65% reduction in the number of cavities among children like Eddie, compared with children who did not have fluoridated water. But what about the billions of people throughout the world, including more than 100 million people in the United States alone, who live in communities without water fluoridation? Carla lives in a smaller town where there is no municipal water supply. But Carla is fortunate because her school is one of about 500 in the United States with its own fluoridated water system.
The water you drink here at school is fluoridated at a higher level than water in fluoridated communities. That's because here at school, you're only drinking fluoridated water part-time. Yes, Carla.
But what if our school didn't have any fluoride in the water?
Well, some schools have other kinds of systemic fluoride, like fluoride tablets. The kids just chew them up, swish around like a rinse, and swallow. Very often, children in non-fluoridated areas can take fluoride supplements at home. Physicians and dentists prescribe fluoride drops for infants and the tablets for older children.
So far, we've been talking only about systemic fluoride. But in addition to being absorbed systemically, fluoride can also be applied directly to the surface of the teeth.
What are you doing, Mom?
Be sure to get the ones in the back now. And don't forget your mouth rinse.
Brushing every day with a fluoride toothpaste and rinsing regularly with a fluoride mouth rinse are important surface applications.
In our school, we give a mouth rinse with slightly more fluoride to the children once a week. Ready, class? Begin. They're among an estimated 10 million children now using a weekly mouth rinse in schools.
Application of a fluoride solution or gel by a dentist or hygienist is another important source of fluoride for tooth surfaces.
Open wider, Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've really been taking care of your teeth.
Okay.
Both systemic and surface fluoride have had a major effect on oral health. Eddie's a great example. Good boy, Eddie. We'll see you in about 6 more months, huh?
Okay.
Keep up the good work.
Getting fluoride both at home and at school has had its effect on Carla's teeth as well.
Oh, Carla, do you know how I know fluoride is working?
How?
Just by looking at your smile.
Smart.
As important as fluoride is to children, it's a common misconception that fluoride is only for them. Not true. For example, fluoride is part of the reason why Eddie's grandfather, at age 60, still has teeth in good condition. And to keep them that way, he needs to continue using fluoride at home and to visit the dental office regularly. Often, adults have receding gums, which can expose the root surfaces of their teeth. These surfaces can become extremely sensitive to heat, cold, and pressure. And they're also vulnerable to root surface decay. There's some evidence to suggest that surface fluorides can help both of these conditions. Fluoride is also a proven aid in helping to treat other disorders.
Fluoride can help to prevent rampant tooth decay caused by xerostomia, or dryness of the mouth, a lack of saliva associated with some cancer treatments, also produced by certain medicines. Much larger amounts of fluoride show promise as a possible treatment for osteoporosis, or calcium loss of the bone, a condition responsible for many fractures in the elderly, especially women.
Researchers at the National Institute of Dental Research and elsewhere are finding new ways of applying fluoride and helping us to better understand how fluoride works. In the past, we accepted tooth decay and its consequences as inevitable. Today, thanks to fluoride, we know this needn't be true. Yet there are millions of people in this country and billions outside it who are still without the benefits of fluoride. Fluoride has proved its value to us during the last 50 years. We know that it strengthens enamel crystals against acid and even helps reduce the production of acid. And we know that fluoride can actually help reverse the decay process to restore the tooth to a healthy state. We know how to get it, systemically in fluoridated water or in fluoride drops or tablets, and also in surface applications, including fluoride toothpaste, mouth rinses, and fluoride treatments. We know that we need both systemic fluoride from birth and surface-applied fluoride on erupted teeth. We also need to see our dentist regularly, take care of our teeth at home, and cut down on sweets. And with fluoride as our strongest weapon, we can help win the battle against cavities.
Grandpa, what does the cavity really feel like?
You know something, Eddie? I don't think you're ever going to find that out.
If we keep using fluoride all our lives, someday a cavity may only be a word in a history book, and everyone will have a better chance of having a healthy, natural, beautiful smile.
The National Institute of Dental Research. I wonder if that is a Colgate, Palmolive shelter organization that allows them to do research. Fluoride, man. I saw a lot of people channeling Colonel Ripper from Dr. Strangelove. It's an excellent reference and kind of captured some of the crazed John Birch approach to talking about fluoridation. And it certainly has, over the years, I don't think the controversy has totally gone away. I mean, you can get toothpaste without fluoride, so it has some sort of other thing that reacts with plaque bacteria. Anyways, I'm Skip Alzheimer, and welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show. I just wanted to say thank you to Ross for buying us some coffee. Coffee is what makes us work. Also, I wanted to apologize to, James. No. Wait a minute. I'll have to look and see. I want to apologize to people who haven't gotten their shirts yet. There was a group of people that, for some reason, didn't get on the spreadsheet, and we shipped out their shirts today. Jason, that's his name. Jason and Robert. Sorry. If you purchased a shirt from us and you still haven't gotten it, reach out to me at avgeeks@gmail.com. avgeeks@gmail.com. And I have tracking numbers for almost everything I sent out, so just let me know. Spreadsheets, man. You live by them, you die by them. Speaking of fatalistic stories, this next film is a Hans Christian Andersen story, and it's kind of messed up. It's really messed up. I think most of it is really messed up. But this is a Steadfast Tin Soldier, And this copy is really beat up, and I've been trying to find a better copy of this version. There's lots of different versions. Some are animated, whatever. But this one is just really, I don't know, it's just really good. I like it, and so I've been trying to find a better copy of it. So I apologize for all the emulsion scratches. So here it is, Steadfast Tin Soldier.
There were once 25 tin soldiers, all brothers, because they all came from the same old tin spoon. They were shoulder arms, and they wore splendid red tunics and blue trousers. The very first thing they ever heard when the lid was taken off the box in which they were lying was, "Tin soldiers!" It was a little boy who shouted this. He had been birthday. He put them up on the table. Each soldier was the very image of the other, except for one, who was a little bit different. He had only one leg, because he was the last to be made, and there wasn't enough tin to go around. Still, there he stood as firmly on his one leg as the others on their two. And as it happened, he's the soldier this story is all about. There were a lot of other toys on the table where the tin soldiers had been put. But the one you noticed first was a beautiful castle. Through its tiny windows you could see right into the rooms. In front of it were some small trees standing around a little mirror, which was supposed to represent a lake with wax swans reflected in it as they swam. Everything was very pretty, and yet the prettiest of all was a little lady who was standing at the open door of the castle. She was wearing a skirt of the clearest muslin and a narrow blue ribbon draped over her shoulder like a scarf, with a glittering spangle in the middle. The little lady was holding up both her arms. You see, she was a dancer, and besides, she had kicked one of her legs so high in the air that the tin soldier couldn't make out where it was, and imagined she only had one leg like himself. "That's the wife for me," he thought to himself. "But she's so grand. She lives in a castle. I've only got a box, and there are 25 of us to that. It's no place for her. All the same, I must see if I can get to know her." Then he lay down at full length behind a big box that was on the table, because from here he could keep his eye, who continued to stand on one leg without losing her balance. Later in the evening, all the other tin soldiers went back into their box, and the people in the house went to bed. And now, the toys began to play games, visiting, fighting, and dancing. The tin soldiers rattled in their box because they wanted to join in too, but they couldn't get the lid off. The nutcrackers turned somersaults. The slate pencil had some fun on the slate.
and there was such a noise that the canary woke up and began to join in with some twittering in verse. Only two who didn't budge were the tin soldier and the little dancer. She stood perfectly upright on tiptoe with both arms stretched up while he was just as staunch with his one leg. His eyes never left her for a moment. Suddenly the clock struck 12, and clack, up through the lid from the big box. Tin soldier! Will you please keep your eyes to yourself? But the soldier pretended not to hear. All right, you just wait till tomorrow, said the goblin. And when tomorrow came and the little boy got up, the tin soldier was put away by the window. And whether it was the goblin or the draft that did it, all at once the window flew open and the soldier fell out head first from the 3rd story. It was a terrible fall. The maidservant, the little boy, came down directly to look for him, but although they very nearly stepped on him, they never saw him. If only the tin soldier had called out, "Here I am," they would have found him easily enough. They didn't think it would be right to shout out as he was in uniform. Presently, it began to rain, more and more heavily, until it was a regular downpour. When it was over, 2 street boys came by. "Gosh, look at that," said one of them. "There's a tin soldier. Let's send him for a sail." So he put the tin soldier aboard a boat made out of newspaper. And away he sailed down the gutter with the 2 boys walking alongside. How the waves did rock in the gutter, and what a strong current there was. Well, after all, it had been a real downpour. The paper boat bobbed up and down and went around so fast, the tin soldier became quite dizzy. But he kept staunch and never moved a muscle. He still looked straight ahead at Shoulder Arms. All at once, the boat drifted in under a broad culvert. "I wonder where I'm coming to now," he thought. "I'll swear it's the fault of that goblin. If only the little lady were here in the boat, it could be twice as dark for all I'd care." Just then, a great water rat appeared, who lived under the culvert. "Where's your passport? Show me your passport!" "Stop him! Stop him! He hasn't paid the toll! He hasn't shown his passport!" The current grew stronger and stronger. The tin soldier could already see daylight ahead where the culvert ended, but he could also hear a roaring sound that might well bring dismay to the bravest man. Now he had come so near that there was no stopping. The boat dashed out and spun round and filled right up with water. It was bound to sink. The tin soldier was now up to his neck. The boat sank deeper and deeper. At last, the water closed over the soldier's head. He thought of the pretty little dancer that he would never see again, and the old song rang in his ears. On, brave warrior, on where death awaits thee." All of a sudden, he was swallowed by a large fish. Oh, how dark it was inside. looked even worse than it was in the culvert. But the tin soldier was still staunch, still at shoulder arms as he lay at full length. The fish darted about, making the most terrifying twists and turns. At last, it lay quite still. A lightning flash went through it, and there was broad daylight. And someone called out, "A tin soldier!" The fish had been caught, taken to market and sold, and here it was in a kitchen. The maid picked up the soldier by the waist with her 2 fingers and carried him into the parlor, where a little boy wanted to see this extraordinary man who'd been traveling around inside a fish, although the tin soldier felt no pride in it. Then he looked around and, well, what wonderful things can happen. The tin soldier found himself in the very same room he had been in before. There they were, the same toys on the table, the same beautiful castle, with the same pretty little dancer who still stood on one leg and kept the other one high in the air. She, too, had been staunch. The tin soldier was so moved that he could have wept tears of tin, only, well, that would not have been right. He looked at her, and she looked at him, but neither of them said a single word. Suddenly, the small boy took the soldier and threw him straight into the stove. He had no reason for doing this. The jack-in-the-box was surely behind it all. The tin soldier stood in a complete glow. The heat that he felt was tremendous, but whether it came from the actual fire or from love, he had no idea. He looked at the little lady. She looked at him, and he could feel that he was melting. But still he stood staunchly at shoulder arms. Then a door opened. The draft caught the little dancer, and she flew like a sylph right into the stove to the tin soldier, flared up like a flame, and was gone. The tin soldier was melted down to a lump, and when cleared out the ashes the next morning, she found him in the shape of a little tin heart. But all that was left of the dancer was her spangle, and that was burnt as black as coal.
Such a messed up story. Really, it's I did this showed this as part of a show called Without a Leg to Stand On, and they were films that were some fictional, some documentary about people who'd lost the use of one or more of their legs, and how fate kind of falls into the whole story, and about, does one try to get back to some sense of normalcy like other people who have both working legs and not. And this one was a really odd story that kind of actually complemented the documentaries. One of the guys had fallen out of a tree and was a quadriplegic, and the other was a boy that was born with malformed legs and basically could only get around on a skateboard. And both stories were just kind of really fascinating and not sad, but there was a sadness with the boy with the skateboard, because it wasn't the sadness of him, it was sadness of the place that he was, which was a steel mill town in Pennsylvania that was on the verge of economic collapse. So anyways, yeah, interesting stuff. This next film is called I Am, and I haven't seen this film before. This is kind of interesting, so let's see what we have in store. I Am.
I can't answer those. I can't, Heather. Heather, I don't want to answer these questions.
Would you come and answer my... Are you very shy?
These are hard questions. What would I say? Heather, you're drawing a crowd.
Plate, roll free.
These are hard questions.
Can you repeat the question?
What?
What? I don't know.
Well, I don't I don't understand the question. That's why.
Oh, I didn't know it was going to be these kind of questions.
Hi, that's a good one.
Ah, that's a difficult question.
Good question.
I can't answer that.
That makes me proudest?
Make me proudest? Makes me proud.
The thing about myself that makes me proudest is that I truly believe in this country. That makes me very proud. I believe that there's a lot of opportunity in this country and in New York. I mean, it sounds corny, but it makes me proud that I feel that way.
That makes me proudest? The fact that I made it this far in life. Okay?
That I'm able to cope with living here and I'm relatively happy.
I don't know. It's a hard question. I can't really think of it offhand.
I don't think of myself in those terms.
Well, I think what makes me feel very proud about myself is that I try to do whatever I do the best I can.
Taking care of my family. That's about all I can say. Taking care of my kids.
I'm holding her right here. This is my baby. She's 7 months old.
Me,
I don't know, doing something good for someone. You know, if I can do something that somebody appreciates, makes me very proud.
Maybe stamina, perseverance. My husband and I bought this orchard, and in spite of the fact that everybody told us we couldn't do it, I persisted. So it's, you know, it's that kind of, not quite aggression, but pretty close to it, I guess.
Well, attitude?
My nose. I'm proud of being pretty independent, although I think it's not so good to get your own way all the time, but I'm glad now that I'm old that I am independent.
The fact that I never lie either. Ever. Except last night. When I told the biggest lie. And it was a lot of fun. But other than that, I never lie. That makes me proud. Do you have any more questions?
Yes.
What?
happiest?
That I'm down here in the city with my 2 sons, my granddaughter, my grandson, and being healthy and enjoying it all.
Feeling healthy makes me happiest. That's probably the most important thing to me.
Just knowing that people can care for one another and love one another, that makes me very happy.
People I like.
When everything's going well, when the sun is shining, and I'm busy.
Oh, and things are going well. I guess a day like today with a blue sky and sunny weather.
Being in love.
Being in love.
Saturdays. Right now, what I seem to enjoy the most is not going to theaters. I never did like the theater much.
Just that I'm alive.
Happiest. Happiest. I don't know.
No pain.
Then what makes you saddest?
It's a little easier for me to say because I dwell on this quite a bit. The saddest is this terrible cruelty in the world where people are just, well, not only killed, of course, and starving, all the rest, but the utter indifference that people have toward horrible conditions.
What makes me saddest is the homeless situation in New York and all over the country. It's hard to imagine that a country as rich as this country has people that sleep on the streets. I mean, if you can imagine having a bad day and then you say to yourself, oh, I'm just going to go home and lay down or whatever you do. Imagine having a bad day and then having to sleep in the sidewalk or in the gutter.
That is the homeless people and the crimes in New York City. Not getting what I want. Not getting what I want.
Oh, when things don't go the way I wanted to. Every greedy, cruel tendency that American people seem to have these days.
When I feel that I don't have like a chance because of prejudices like against women and people that are not white.
I would have taken better care of myself if I knew I was going to live this long. I wouldn't have smoked, for one thing.
Driving rain and wind.
A lousy, rainy, wet day. When I'm bored or no customers and I'm thinking about all the things that can go wrong or have gone wrong.
Want to see other people suffer?
Pain in others.
I can't answer that.
You don't know what makes you saddest?
I'm not the saddest. I know a lot of things that make me sad, but I'd rather concentrate on the things that make me feel good.
Do you wanna ask her? I'd love to hear what she would say on the spot.
If you could say something to put in a time capsule that all people would hear, what would you say?
Do you mean the kind of thing that people like to put on a tombstone?
To be saved, that's how, I don't understand how to...
That's the hardest one out of all the questions to answer. I don't know how many people feel that what they have to say is so important and so monumental that it should go in a time capsule and you'd like it to last for a long period of time. And I think I'm one of those people who doesn't feel he has thoughts quite that profound.
I don't know what it would be, but it would be very simple and good.
Can I do more than one?
Sure.
Okay, I would say stop polluting the earth, or I would maybe apologize for what we've done in this century to our land, the ecological problem in this country and all over the world. I would apologize for that, and I would just say respect one another. That's what I would say.
I don't know. I'm glad that I'm living in this generation that I've had a chance to go live through women's lib and do a balancing act between raising a family and running a business. It's been good. I'd hate to have lived in 1850 or 1880. I think I would have revolted. Probably joined the women's rights revolutionary movement, if there was such a thing.
I love being a liberal.
I'd like to see that stop being homeless people out here.
The Lord should make children only and no adults. Save your money. I'm the old 60 guy, you know. I'm all together, stay together, and be nice. That's what I would like to do. And having good time.
Well, help one another.
Stop fighting.
At the moment, I think that selfishness rules, and I would certainly love to see some degree of people caring for one another.
I say I'd like to see people living more in harmony, and I wish there could be more peace in the world.
Love yourself.
What makes you proudest about yourself?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not really prepared for this. I never thought of that question.
It's too important of a question.
Slate me. Slate me. This was cruel, Heather.
Okay, go on.
Can I get a replay on that?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Goodbye.
So it was an interesting slice of life piece, 1989. Steel drums, man. I often will spend time going down the steel drum rabbit hole on YouTube, looking for cover versions of various songs on steel drum or accordion. So it's fun. You should try it. Doesn't hurt nothing. Barbara Eden. Jeannie. After Jeannie, she was on various TV shows, movies. None of them seem to be as successful as Jeannie, though. But here's her doing I don't know if this was a career move or this was some sort of court-appointed thing or what the deal was. But this is this is a film that I showed during a show I did called When Mascots Attack, and featuring films that had really bad mascots. This is Snuffy's Fire Brigade. And I think this is sponsored by Burger King. So here we go, Snuffy's Fire Brigade. The title got clipped on it, but enjoy.
Adam, get all the fire safety signs together.
Hey, look! What is a hot spot, spotter?
Sorry, guys, I need these things for the parade.
Hey! Can we get to this fire safety parade?
What, you?
Yeah, us. Why not?
What do you know about fire safety?
Well, we know... Sure, we know lots of things like we know
Yeah. Will you come back when you've learned about fire safety, and we'll get you in the parade.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Pardon me, but may I be of some assistance?
Hey, did you hear something that came from that? Hey, what or who are you?
My name is Snuffy, and I just couldn't help overhearing your conversation. I think I can be of help.
Yeah? How?
Well, it'll take some concentration, but I think I can get you into the parade.
Aren't you supposed to lead the parade?
That's right.
Well, what are we waiting for? Come on!
Okay then, follow me and you'll get the whole story. Oh, I'm a little fire truck. Fire safety is my game. I'm a friend to one and all, and Snuffy is my name.
This is turning into a very strange neighborhood. A little strange, but very interesting.
Sound the alarm and ring the bell for Snuffy's Fire Brigade. Come and join along with us in Snuffy's Safety Parade.
We'll join you at your firehouse, Snuffy. Give us all a turn. With Snuffy, fire safety will be
Lots of fun to learn.
Wow, I've never seen a firehouse like this before. I wonder where these stairs lead to. Hey, look! How do I look? Hey, look at this! Hello, anything in there? What is it? What is it? I don't know.
Well, what do you think of my place?
It's really neat. You really like to watch a lot of TV, don't you?
But that's no ordinary TV, Nicky. That's my hotspot spotter.
Your what spot spotter? He said his hot spot spotter. But what is it? Yeah, what is it?
I use it to find fire-causing things in children's homes.
You mean there are things in my house that can cause a fire?
Precisely, Amy. And I call those fire-causing things hotspots. Sometimes I have to call the whole house a hotspot.
Oh, yeah? Well, I bet you couldn't spot anything in my house, Snuffy.
Well, hold your bet until we turn this on.
Where's all that noise coming from? Jim, look! Hey, that's my house! What's that?
That's the signal we've located a hotspot in Jim's house. Let's take a look at the TV screen.
Oh, yeah? Well, it goofed. I don't see anything that can cause a fire. That's our TV. And that's our lamp. I don't see anything that can cause a fire.
Wow, look at all those electric cords.
What's wrong with that?
When you plug too many things into one outlet, the electric cords can get hot enough to cause a fire.
Does my house have a hot spot, too?
I'm afraid so. See all those old paint rags and turpentine lying around the basement right near the furnace, Nicky? It gets pretty hot there.
There's our attic. Look at all that junk.
Yes, it gets pretty hot up there, and all that junk could catch fire.
Hey, there's our cookie box. Is that a hot spot, too?
A kid or even a grown-up could get a nasty burn reaching for a cookie across a hot stove. Also, the handle of the pot shouldn't stick out over the edge of the stove.
That makes sense.
Well, what do you say now?
Oh, we'd hate to live in a hot spot. Would you want to live in a hot spot? Things that cause fire that are found everywhere. No one's aware that the fire hazard's there. Hazards from basements right up to the roof. Oh, I'd rather live in a place fireproof. Oh, we hate to live in a hot spot. Bet you wouldn't live in a hot spot. Fire hazards simply have got to be stopped. Soon as I see them, I'll tell Mom and Pop. Fire hazards really are too hot for me. No, a hot spot is a not spot for me. Hey, Snuffy, what are those matches doing on the hot spot spotter? All of us have matches that our parents need.
The matches aren't the hot spot. It's playing with matches that's the hot spot.
You know, I've seen kids playing with matches, and sometimes a little fire gets started, and they just run away.
Little fires become big fires very fast.
I guess they're too scared to tell anybody they started a fire. What do you do if you find there's a fire? Whether you see it or you've said it.
You cannot pretend that it's really not there. You cannot ignore or forget it.
You have to run quick and sound the alarm, even if you caused the fire.
Don't be afraid, please, to sound the alarm, or the flames will keep getting higher.
Now danger grows great if you stop to debate, afraid of getting in trouble.
For every 2 minutes that you hesitate, remember the fire's gonna double.
You have to run quick and sound the alarm.
Don't hide inside of your rooms.
You have to run quick and sound the alarm.
So you won't be caught by the fumes.
You got the idea about leaving the house as soon as possible. But what if the fire has already started?
Well, In that case, you've got to understand that smoke is usually more dangerous than the fire itself.
Well, how do we get away from smoke?
When smoke comes into a room, it first goes up to the ceiling. It takes a while for the smoke to fill the whole room. So get down low.
How's this stuff?
Come on, get lower. A little lower.
Still smoking. Hard to breathe.
Keep going lower.
Still smoking.
Keep going lower.
Look, no more smoke. I can breathe again. Yeah, but we're not on our knees. How are we going to get away from the fire on our knees?
Oh, if a fire should start to burn when you are soundly sleeping, don't sit up, roll out of bed, to safety start a-creeping. Hey, crawl away to safety. Hey, crawl away, kids.
Don't hide inside your closet, kids, or under covers in your bed. Your parents cannot find you there. The smoke will come instead. Don't try to fight the fire yourself. Don't ever try to put it out. Just wake up everybody with a loud and mighty shout.
Hey, get away.
Run and leave your house, my friend.
Hey, get away.
Crawl away, kids. And when your family meets outside together in one special place, just look around, you're safe and sound, count every happy face.
Hey, crawl away to safety. Hey, crawl away, you crawled away. Hooray!
Wow. Oh boy, was I glad to get away from that smoke. But what if there was some kind of accident and our clothes caught fire? That would be very scary. What would we do then, Snuffy?
Stop, drop, and roll. Turn around to the hotspot spotter and I'll show you.
Hey, what's the dragon got to do with this?
As you can see, kids, dragons are the one thing that have learned to live with fire.
Love that fire.
But even with dragons, sometimes the fire gets out of control.
Uh-oh, that's too much fire.
Now, if the dragon were to get scared and try to run away, look what happens.
The flames get higher.
But if the dragon stops, look.
The flames get lower.
Yeah, the flames get lower. But I'm still on fire. What do I do now?
Drop to the ground?
Positively.
Drop to the ground, huh? What?
And then?
Roll around on the ground?
You mean like this? Oh, hey. Oh, much better.
Wow, that's really cool. Stop, drop, and roll. Indubitably.
Indubitably.
Wow, if you run with your clothes on fire, the flames will just burn higher and higher. There's just no way you can turn and run once a fire that's on you has begun. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. You gotta stop running. Stop, drop, and roll.
One thing everybody ought to know. If you catch fire, you gotta drop down low. If you keep standing up this train, the fire will go up in your face. You gotta drop. You gotta drop. You gotta drop. You gotta drop. You gotta drop it, baby. Stop, drop, and roll. There's one thing certain that we found. Fire goes up and never down. Fire like staring at the ground. Don't spark it out, just roll. You gotta roll. You gotta roll.
You gotta start rolling. Stop, drop, and roll.
You gotta stop and drop and roll. You gotta keep your self-control. You gotta learn to hit the ground and roll yourself around and round. You gotta think. You gotta stop. You gotta sing. You gotta drop.
You gotta start rolling. Stop, drop, and roll.
started. Yeah, the parade has started. Can we go, Snuffy?
Sure. You kids have passed basic fire safety training. What are you waiting for?
Oh, boy! Come on, Snuffy! This is terrific! He's a little fire truck. Fire safety is his game. He's a friend to all of us, and Snuffy is his name.
I can show you lots of ways to make fire safety fun. Fun for you and fun for me and fun for everyone.
Snuffy's bright and shiny like a good safety charm. Snuffy's got a message that can help keep us from harm.
Sound the alarm and ring the bell for Snuffy's Fire Brigade. Come and march with us in Snuffy's Fire Safety Parade. Fire Safety Parade.
So my bad. That didn't have Barbara Eden in it. And so the confusion is I misremembered it, and it's because Barbara Eden appears in a similar film, and it's sponsored by McDonald's. And Barbara Eden conducts lessons in home safety, quizzes kids about poisons, fire, falls, and other hazards, shows her pupils applying correct safety practices at home. Then my notes are cloyingly obnoxious kids and sets like Snuffy's Fire Safety Brigade. Thankfully, there's no singing. So, in my mind, those two films were the same film. But yeah, I like the fact that in the comments people have invoked different films that we've shown over the last several months that are similar. Certainly the Uncle Smiley series is one that is filled with insipid songs, folksy songs. Then Mulligan Stew, also insipid songs about nutrition. Yeah, so this one's about fire safety. It was really kind of fascinating. So thank you for that. Sorry, no Barbara Eden this time. I'm tempted to go find the Barbara Eden film for next week, but it would be long. It's probably close to 30 minutes long, and I don't know. Do you want 30 minutes of cloying kids? Cloyingly obnoxious kids? I don't know. If you do, write in the comments. Maybe we'll have a cloyingly obnoxious kids show. Although you could argue that almost every single one that we've done has been cloyingly obnoxious. All right, so finally, here's a great film. It's called It's Great to Have a Wolf Around the House. It's animated, and the people that animated this also animated The Point, which was a TV show movie that was on television back in the 70s, late 70s. Harry Nilsson did it. I really love this animation style. We've shown other films that these folks have done. The Planet of Tickle Bops was one. And there's been some others. But this is, it's wonderful to have a wolf around the house. Enjoy.
Once upon a time, there was an old man, oh, am I old, who lived alone with his 3 old pets. There was his dog, Peppy, who was very old. Oh, am I very old. There was his cat, Ginger, who was very, very old. Oh, I'm very And there was Lightning, his tropical fish, who was so old that she could barely swim and preferred to float. One day, the old man called his 3 pets together and said to them, in an old way, "The trouble, my friends, is that we are so old."
We're very old.
I know that. Listen up. What we need is a charming companion. Someone to take care of us and pep us up. All in favor? Snore. Opposed? The snorers have it. I'll put an ad in the Soho News. Soho people will know what we're looking for. And so the advertisement appeared in the paper. The very next morning, a furry stranger knocked on the old man's door. Knock, knock. Who's there? Cuthbert. Cuthbert who? Cuthbert Q. Divine. Did you advertise for a charming companion, old man? Yes, I did. Look no further. Oh, good. My eyes are so old that they get tired when I look further. I am the very one you have been searching for. Many people think that I am a wolf. That, of course, is nonsense. Utter nonsense. Of course. As a matter of fact, I happen to be a dog. Yes, a German Shepherd, to be exact. Is that a fact? I was in Switzerland during the war. And because the old man's eyesight was not what it used to be, and because he was completely dazzled by Cuthbert Q. Divine's charming personality, he did not see him for what he really was, a wolf. This is the German Shepherd out here at the Indianapolis Speedway for the beginning of the race. Here they come down round the far turn. It looks like a perfect start. The starter says go. The green flag waves, and there they go. It's car number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack. Jack, hit me again, dealer. Cuthbert had not been on the job 24 hours before the old man and his 3 pets wondered how they had ever managed without him. No, John. It's best that we part, John. You have another wife, and I have another husband. Oh. And he has another wife, and she has another husband. It isn't the simplest sort of arrangement, is it? He is amazing. He cooks, he cleans, he pays the bills. He's a whiz. Oh, look, this thing smells like a guitar. A blink, a blink, a blink. I'll rub your belly in linseed oil, wrap your head in aluminum foil, almond left in a do-si-do, and I grab your barber by the toe. Oh, he made me dance. I don't feel so old anymore. I was really cutting the rug. Cuthbert had a heart of gold. All he wanted to do was to make the old man and his 3 pets happy. He took me for a walk. I hated it, but I don't feel so old anymore either. Whee! Well, now, I think I'll just dust this wheel here and Oh, look! It spins. It's like a game show. Welcome to Rocket to Oblivion, where anybody can win anything and probably won't. Our first contestant is a gentleman from Almanesset, New Jersey. Answer this question, sir, and you'll be the winner of a proud thing. If a hen and a half could lay an egg and a half in a day and a half, how many pancakes would it take to shingle a doghouse? I'm sorry, you're wrong. Now that was some discovery. The old man and his pets had long forgotten that their house was, in actuality, a houseboat. Later on, they took many cruises around the whole city. But it was all too good to last. Late one afternoon, just after Cuthbert had tucked the old man into his deck chair and handed him his paper, the old man read a terrible thing right on page 1. Cuthbert Q. Divine wanted for rip-off. rip-offs. Inside the paper, the story continued. The notorious Cuthbert the Ripper is being sought for a series of rip-offs. Anyone spotting him should use extreme caution because, after all, he is a wolf. A wolf? Oh! The old man was outraged. And he was pretty mad, too.
It's true, it's true. I'm so ashamed. Oh, woe is me. I'm no good at all. But I can't help it. I never had a chance. I always wanted to be good, but everybody expected me to be bad because I'm a wolf.
The old man could not get over it. He was hurt and frightened. How did it happen?
I joined a motorcycle club called the War Wolves and finally became their president.
But why you?
I was the only one who had a motorcycle. You know, we terrorized schools. Ow, pow, pow, pow. And we used to go to cities and scare everybody in the cities. Rat-a-tat, rat-tat, rat-tat. And sometimes we'd go to senior citizens' homes and we'd play jokes on them. We'd tell them we knew how old they were. Nya, 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 nya. They hated it. Who cared? We were wolves. We were young. We were wonderful.
Before the old man could say another word, Cuthbert Q. Devine, alias Cuthbert the Ripper, fainted dead away.
You've got a very sick wolf on your hands with a bad attack of nerves. He'll have to stay in bed for months if he is ever to get well again. Have him take 2 of these and call me in the morning. Not too early.
Now the old man and his pets realized they had work to do.
I'll clean the kitchen. Well, I just cleaned the kitchen. Good, then it shouldn't take me long.
They had to cook meals. Guess what we're having tonight?
Not broiled jello, man.
Broiled jello. And they took care of their friend Cuthbert. Peppy forgot his aches and pains, and everyone said that Ginger was as frisky as a kitten again. Lightning did her share, too. She spent her days blowing beautiful bubbles to amuse Cuthbert. It seemed to soothe his frayed nerves. At last, one bright, sunny morning...
Hey, I have a feeling I'm gonna be okay today. Hey, sure, I feel great. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day.
So why don't you get up, Cuthbert?
Because I feel so ashamed of myself for all the rotten rip-offs I used to do. I don't want to go out and face anybody anymore because I'm in here and I got my...
Why don't you turn yourself in to the police, Cuthbert? And that's exactly what he did. In court, he was defended by Lightning. And in conclusion, Your Honor, I would like to say that Cuthbert has been very misunderstood and should be given another chance. We really shouldn't judge wolves by their appearance. After all, one man's wolf can be another animal's human, or something like that.
Yes, well, I see, that's true. You have done so much for the old man and his pets, but, in fact, you've turned out to be a downright upstanding wolf. So, my verdict is, as pronounced here, on this day of the court, Cuthbert Q. Devine, you may go free. As long as you don't go back with the War Wolves.
Cuthbert had no intention of going back to the War Wolves. He went home with the old man and his 3 pets, and after he regained his health, they all had a little party on deck. They promised that they were going to help one another for the rest of their lives. As a matter of fact, all 5 of them are still living together in Arizona because the desert climate was better for Cuthbert's health.
It's possible I'm wrong. Again, it's possible that the... let me see who did the point. I know you love watching me. I thought this was like a Fred Wolf film, but I could be wrong. Fred Wolf did the point, and I feel like the animator here was also the animator there, but I am way off, I think. Way off. They have a similar look and feel. Just be Googling this stuff. Yeah, it has absolutely nothing to do with the point. I'm totally apologize for that. Now, he did do stuff that was on Sesame Street, 321 Contact. He did do this awesome film that I'll show at some point called Louis James Hates School. He did stuff for the electric company. But yeah, totally different than the point people. And wow, sorry about that. I think I need more coffee. I think there's a way that you can help me with this by buying me more coffee. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hopefully my introductions, my completely wrong introductions, have not thrown off your viewing experience today. There's a lot of films, and when I kind of pull things out of my brain, sometimes I don't pull out the right thing. So there you go. But I hope everybody has a good weekend, and we might get some hurricane rain this weekend. I'm hoping not, but there you go. And I hope the people that are in the path of Hurricane Laura are doing okay. We'll be doing okay, because hurricanes are no fun. But, provided we have power and internet on Monday, we'll be back at 1 o'clock. Other ways you can support AV Geeks besides buying us excuse me, caffeine is by subscribing and liking on YouTube, Facebook, or whatever you're watching us on. And you can also go to avgeeks.com and watch stuff there. And there's also opportunity to buy DVDs there. And if you just happen to be a film producer and you're looking for stock footage, that's something that we do. And that is really what's helping pay the bills nowadays. So thanks again for your eyeballs and for your attention, your comments. And again, if for some reason I missed sending you a t-shirt, or a t-shirt has not shown up and you bought one, email me, avgeeks@gmail.com, and we'll try to figure out what's going on. Because like I said, I have tracking numbers for everything. So everybody take care. Have a good rest of the day. And we will see you soon. Bye-bye.